Hey, Roland Frasier here, and today we are talking about what are the most important factors to know when you're buying a business. How do I select a target type? Okay, so what do we mean by target type? The type of company that you're going to acquire can fall into several different categories. The biggest, broadest category that I start with is, am I going to acquire a company that is no longer existing, one that's been closed down? Am I going to acquire one that is not currently profitable, that is a turnaround situation? Or am I going to acquire a company that is currently just barely breaking even or profitable? And I put the break even or profitable in one category because those are really the companies that I would argue you should focus on. Unless you have turnaround experience, that is a very specific set of skills, as Liam Neeson would say, a very particular set of skills that you would need to possess to be able to turn those around. That's hard. It's certainly harder than acquiring a profitable company, and there are plenty of profitable companies to acquire. So as you're looking, I would screen out the ones that have already closed down because they're going to have to be resurrected. It's almost like having a startup. It's a little bit better, but it's almost like having a startup, and we're not about acquiring startups. The turnaround category, so many skills and so hard to do. Let's not do that right now. I think it can be super fun, by the way. I've done lots of those and I like them, but it's way, way harder than going through and acquiring one that's at break even or profitable. Now, then we get to break even or profitable. In that category, if it's just barely breaking even and you don't see things that you could do very, very quickly, 30 days, to turn that into a company that is actually making a profit, then I'd probably pass. I would look for one that is already profitable. Okay, how profitable does it need to be? I'm so glad you asked. Okay, so then we say, how do I decide how profitable a company needs to be for me to want to acquire it? Well, I don't really care that much about sales. I care about profits. And there's two types of profits that we talk about. There's SDE, which is seller discretionary earnings. That's how profitable is a company that is owner operated, where the owner is required to make the business go. In a business that is professionally managed, where the owner is not required, we use EBITDA, or earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So I'm going to say, okay, I am interested in a company that is profitable and has either SDE, or if it's owner operated, or EBITDA if it's professionally managed, of a certain amount. What do I want that amount to be? Okay. The thing that I do to calculate that is I say, how much do I want to pay myself for doing this deal on a monthly basis? So that's the very first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to say, let's say I want to make $10,000. I want to pay myself $10,000 a month because I'm going to spend some time tweaking this business. And I'm really not interested in a business that I can't get $10,000 a month from. So that's going to be my new target type, is going to be a company that is profitable, that's making at least $10,000 a month profit, because I know I need to spend that to pay myself. But in addition to that, I want to say, what am I going to do with the company? Am I going to just let it go as is and kind of operate like that? Or do I actually see some growth potential, which ideally you do, and there's going to be a little bit of investment to get the company to grow so that it will be worth more, and maybe ultimately I sell it, or if it's worth more because it's making more profit, it'll be able to pay me more, which all good things. So the second thing that I'm going to look at there is I'm going to say, how much money is going to be required, or do I want to budget to be able to spend on growth? And that might be anything from increasing advertising budgets to increasing staffing levels to acquiring capital equipment or something like that, right? New product development, product acquisition, maybe even acquiring other companies. But those are the two things I'm going to look at. How much do I want to pay myself? Let's say I want to pay myself $10,000 a month. Great. That's $120,000 a year. And then let's say that I want to be able to spend $10,000 a month on growth activities. then that's another $120,000 a year that I'm going to need to have available. So the $120,000 I want to pay myself plus the $120,000 I want to spend on growth is going to mean I need a business that at least has a profit, an SDE or an EBITDA of $240,000 a year. $120,000 for me, $120,000 for growth. So that's really how I'm going to select what kind of company I'm going to go after. I'm going to say, I don't really care what the sales are so much, but I have my acquisition criteria, and I have an idea now of how much I want to pay myself and how much money I have to be able to dedicate to growing the company. I add those two together, and then that gives me pretty good additional acquisition criteria in terms of profitability. So then I'll say, what are the businesses that fit my acquisition criteria that also have profitability of $240,000 or more? So that's kind of how we go about that.
If you want a lot of additional really cool stuff, I've got a whole channel full of it, and you should subscribe so that you don't miss any of it, because I'm uploading videos all the time. There's a lot of things that are changing in this area, and you don't want to miss out. You don't want to do it wrong, and you don't want to make the mistakes I made. Subscribe so that you don't miss out, and then check out this next video.